And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode of the Checkers and Wreckers podcast. And we have theme music again, finally. Ain't that nice, people? So, welcome to episode number 24. I am your host, Carter Leonard, as always, along with...
Professor Prostate.
And we have a new host with us today. This person's name is Ash. So, Ash, please say hello.
I'm Ash or as most people will know me online, ABR48.
Very, very nice. And welcome to this week's episode of the Checkers and Wreckers podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about on today's show. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's start off with the weekend recap. The NASCAR Truck Series and the Cup Series were at Richmond this past weekend, while the Xfinity Series was at Road America. Safe to say this weekend did give its share of very fun winners.
Yeah, I was honestly, both me and Hostman, we got our Xfinity picks wrong because we both just out the gate picked Allmendinger to win.
Oh yeah, you and I picked him on the show
over.
too. We both picked Allmendinger.
I'm pretty sure everybody picked him.
I was hoping for a Kligerman win. I really wanted
I
to see
was
that.
too. I was hoping when the 24 and the 2 went off, I was hoping the 2 spun and the 24 just kind of stayed back. I wanted Kligerman to win, man.
Well, we got a Sam Mayer win, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so for many people who didn't watch the Xfinity Series race, which was the first race of the weekend, Sam Mayer ended up picking up his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series win. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is kind of a... Wait, isn't Sam Mayer from Wisconsin?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
he's a Wisconsin native. They mentioned that. They mentioned that at least 12 times on broadcast.
He should have had the win at that fall Talladega race last year, but he got screwed over in the last
Daisy moment
part of the track. Yeah, I think Allmendinger had too much of a run.
Yep,
He
but...
couldn't block it.
So we were all really wondering if Sam Mayer was ever going to get the victory lane at all, but it finally happened, and that Road America race, Road America never fails to disappoint. I'm still upset that the Cup Series did not go back there again this year, but that's a discussion for another time.
We got Chicago for it, so...
Yeah, I guess that...
Shane Van Gisbergen, so...
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
It was a fair trade-off.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, people seem to enjoy it. Then the next race, which was that following night, was the Truck Series race at Richmond, which was the final race for the Truck Series before their playoffs began, and Carson Hocevar picked up his third win of the season, and it came at the action track. So, with him winning the race, Corey Heim ended up picking up the regular season championship for the Craftsman Truck Series. So,
wait, his third win, what did he get? I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember his second win. What?
Nashville.
Nashville.
It was at Nashville.
Right.
The weekend that Trackhouse swept him.
Yeah, technically it was a Trackhouse type of weekend.
Truck and Cup sweep, but...
Yeah, that's right, my fault.
No, you're fine. But
I got my Hocevar pick right, so I'm riding high on that.
And this one is coming off the recent rumors of Carson Hocevar possibly heading to the Cup Series next year. Me personally, I kind of hope that doesn't happen. I want to see him develop just a tiny bit more, but this is definitely some good mojo for Carson Hocevar heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't... It's been shown that the Truck Series isn't exactly fantastic for developing and showing talent, but obviously he has shown his maturity, especially after that little self-spin at Talladega last year. But
yeah, Carson is just picked up.
He's definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, he's actually become a really good driver. Week in, week out contender, I'd say.
And with
'Cause
the rumors of him going to Junior Motorsports, actually, if we can bring that up now that I think about it, if we can kind of segue into one or the other here, with the chance of Noah Gragson getting dropped out of the 42 for John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, there's a lot of silly.
There's a chance that Gragson could maybe go to the 9, or hell, maybe even not Barry since Barry is going up to the Cup Series. Hostbar to the 8, Gragson to the 9. I feel like those two would have a very fun battle together.
Yeah, they would have a good season because, Noah Gragson would not have a rival. Like, unless Hocevar was, like, Ty Gibbs fast right out of the gate, Gregson's not going to have too much competition.
Definitely.
I still kind of find it shocking that Gragson has not run a single Xfinity race this season.
Yeah, that
He's
is
purely focusing on Cup, and it's not really something that many guys do.
Yeah, it's killing his confidence.
Especially, because you kind of, like Allmendinger, he goes down to Xfinity once in a while and runs those races. He won Nashville.
Yeah, he celebrates every win like he just won a championship.
Yeah, he's like a child in a 40-some-year-old man's body.
Well, he's the height of him, so... Well, he's the height of him, so that makes sense.
he definitely is.
Yeah,
but
Allmendinger, you need to have like the personality of someone like AJ Allmendinger. You gotta go down to Xfinity. Like he said about Colleague, the reason he went out to Wisconsin and ran Road America instead of qualifying for Richmond is because he admitted that he kind of sucked at Richmond, which he prevalently does because he ran like top 25 or lower the whole race or something like that. And then just went out, was doing great, and then had an issue, and then got messed up and finished within the top 10, but just wasn't doing good in the later half of that Road America race.
Yeah. A lot to talk about today regarding silly season and all those moves, but once again, congrats to Carson Hocevar on his 3rd win of the year. Now we get to the Sunday race at Richmond. Chris Buescher is
Christopher Buescher,
probably a new short track specialist, as he was able to pick up his not only his 3rd career win, but his 1st win of the season. And this wasn't no fluke either. This was a dominating performance by Chris Buescher. Not just him, but his teammate and team owner, Brad Keselowski, had 2 of the fastest cars of the day. Originally, I thought that it might be a 23-11 racing dub between Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, but quick reminder, 2311 Racing and pit stops do not combine whatsoever. So with them fumbling
especially on the 23 crew.
Yeah, if you are a Bubba Wallace fan, you have every right to be upset after Sunday's race. You have every right to be upset.
I'm sure my mom was absolutely mauling over it.
And this wasn't a fluke either. Bubba did have a fast car. He did. And I don't think, the problem for 2311 Racing for them right now is that it's not the speed. They have race-winning speed. Both cars do. It's just the mistakes. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with Bubba. I don't, hate him, but he's, he obviously has the speed. It's been shown, but he chokes under pressure.
He gives out, which is...
Yeah, and
you can't really use the defense of he needs time to develop because he's been a Cup driver since 2018.
Yeah, and...
I'm sure he was in Richard Petty Motorsports from 2018 through 2020, but that's a good enough time to kind of learn your footing and, learn the fact that you need to kind of not buckle that bad under pressure.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Christopher Buescher, as Ash would put it. I was very surprised that both RFK cars had this type of speed, but only one of them was going to, pull ahead of the other and get the win. And I thought for a second that it would be the 6 of Brad Keselowski ending his 2-year winless streak of not winning the race. But a very awkward pit stop had other ideas for the 6 team, where he entered in his pit stall at a very odd type of way. Now, it wasn't illegal, but it was just a very slow stop, and that ended up costing him the race. But he still managed to get a top 10, and technically Brad Keselowski did still end up going to victory lane, just not as a driver, but as a car owner.
A win's a win, especially if you're the owner for a team that really hasn't done anything since Mark Martin left them.
I'm glad you brought that up, because in our next topic, we're going to talk about the rebirth of RFK. First of all, I remember the announcement. Here's my whole thing on this. I remember the announcement where it said, oh, Brad Keselowski is going to go to Roush for 2022. And I was very skeptical on it, because not only would he be driving for the team, but he would also be a part owner. And I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to go. And quite frankly, 2022 was a lot left to be desired. He had that big 100-point penalty that basically ruined his chances of getting into the playoffs. So he spent a year just trying to, rebuild and this and that. And then we get into 2023 and everything is starting to fall in place for RFK.
I thought Brad's move to Roush was not only shooting himself in the foot, but also cutting his legs off.
Yeah, that was
a
career killer.
He was going from retirement at Penske, future years retiring at Penske and having potentially 15 more wins by now, or just something amazing and good like that.
What many people,
Penske, as we saw last year, picked up majorly.
What many people seem to forget is that the reason why he left Penske is because, I'm sure he wanted to stay there, and he actually wanted a part ownership of Penske, but Roger Penske said no bueno to that, and Brad was looking for a job, and he ended up he stayed with Ford, obviously, but he ended up moving to Roush. And so far, in the grand scheme of things, it's starting to work out for Brad. He has yet to win in the 6 car, but those cars are starting to have the pace. They are better than Stewart-Haas Racing as of right now.
Yeah,
that's not hard.
They're definitely the second best Ford team.
Now, if you told me
they're starting to bite at Penske.
If you told me in 2018 to 2019 that Roush would be way better than Stewart-Haas Racing, I would have been like, all right, what are you smoking and where I could buy some? Psych, no, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
In 2020, if you told me that Roush Fenway and Brad Keselowski with Chris Buescher would be better than Stewart-Haas Racing, I would tell you to check yourself into a mental hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before Brad came in, prior to the 2022 season, the last time Roush had won a race, if I remember right, was either Matt Kenseth or David Reagan.
What, with Roush?
And those are both, yeah, with Roush.
Well, the last time I can remember Roush winning a race before 2022 was Ricky Stenhouse when he won 2 races that year in 2017.
Oh yeah, that's true. So before 2022, the last time they did a single thing
was it was 2017?
Yeah, that was the year Ricky got 2 wins under his belt.
And now Ricky's gone from someone who was looked at as
super speedway merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, known super speedway king and murderous psycho, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Or, in the words of Joey Logano, Ricky Stankhouse. God, he's awful.
I love some of the things that
2018 Coke Zero Sugar 400, that 2018 Coke Zero Sugar 400, that race had me heated. It had me heated. I will admit.
Yeah, reminds me of Tony Stewart's um, old quote when he said,
bust his ass.
by the end, that and one, he said, after like a Talladega race, I think it was after the race he went upside down in.
If we didn't wreck like more than 50% of the field, then we need to do it again.
Yeah, if we don't wreck 50% of the field, then we need to get the cars back out and run it again. Because obviously this is what NASCAR wants.
Yeah, like that was.
Fans are good enough of a show.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, but no, going back to Chris Buescher for a second, I think we can officially say that Chris Buescher is one of the most underrated talents in the Cup Series simply because from 2021 to 2023, his performance has just gone up. Like it's gotten better.
Well, not only that, but he already was a race winner before that Bristol win.
Yeah, he did have a career Cup Series win.
Pocono win.
Yeah, and that race was cut short due to fog.
There's like fog on the track.
Yeah, but his next two wins would come on complete race pace. I was there for one of them, which was the Bristol night race last year. I was there for that.
That was a chaotic race.
Yeah, someone.
And fun fact about that race, Keselowski was leading and was going to win that race until his tire gave out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What is with Keselowski just killing the field or just doing really good, and then something happens and Chris Buescher comes in and takes the win?
It's the RFK effect. There can only be one. Both RFK cars cannot succeed at the same time. One must fail and the other must succeed.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness though, like congrats to Chris Buescher on the win, well deserving of it, and now he's officially locked into the 2023 Cup Series playoffs. And we're going to a track this upcoming weekend where Ford has been of a dominant manufacturer there. Who knows, maybe RFK could go back to back this upcoming weekend.
Please, Brad.
Yeah. All right, so our next topic of discussion, and we were going to go back to this discussion earlier, and that is Noah Gragson might be on the move from Legacy Motor Club in 2024. So, if you don't know by now, Legacy Motor Club has announced several months ago that they are going to switch from Chevy to Toyota starting in 2024. Now, while Eric Jones is planning to stay there, the 42 car is a bit of a mystery as of recently, according to Jordan Bianchi in The Athletic, because it is rumored that Noah Gragson might leave Legacy Motor Club and John Hunter Nemechek might drive the 42 car for 2024.
Which definitely seems like a better option.
To add fuel to this already burning fire, Noah Gragson is a contracted Chevy driver.
Yes.
Because drivers not only have contracts to a team, but they also have contracts tied to their manufacturer. And that's why certain guys have just always been with one manufacturer and never left them.
The only drivers in like the Toyota line that I see are really contracted guys in the pipeline as of right now are John Hunter Nemechek and Corey Heim.
I would definitely say someone to look at in the next upcoming years, or hell, maybe even the next upcoming year, hopefully, Ryan Truex.
That's if he gets full-time funding.
Yeah, but
I think it would be. They probably won't because Brandon Jones has that sweet Menards money.
That's I see. Those rumors of him possibly returning to JGR, I just feel are just a bit overblown, in my opinion. Like, listen, I like Junior Motorsports, but like, damn, you're giving up on him already. Like I understand that it's not been a great season for Brandon Jones. Like he, ideally in that car, he should have been doing what he did at Joe Gibbs Racing, and that's contending for a playoff spot. I mean, which I'm not saying Brandon Jones is like completely not talentless. I mean, he definitely he's a race winner, but at the same time, if you're looking for a guy who's going to contend for wins and championships, he's not necessarily the ideal pick.
I think Noah Gragson could kind of do the Justin Allgaier route and just be an Xfinity lifer.
I don't think Noah wants to do that. I don't think Noah wants to do that, though.
It depends on how he does it.
All right, so, but
because
John, okay.
Justin Allgaier did do a bit of Cup, and he kind of saw that he sucked in Cup, so he just did Xfinity.
All right, so here are my thoughts on this rumor. I think if you're going to look at a replacement, I think John Hunter Nemechek is obviously the best pick available, because if you ask me who the top two guys in Xfinity are right now, who are most Cup ready, I would say John Hunter Nemechek and Austin Hill. So John Hunter Nemechek being rumored for, what do you mean,
I don't necessarily know about Austin Hill, but
he's literally the points leader as of right now, and he has that veteran experience.
Well, 4 super speedway wins will do it. Or no, 3?
He has 4, I think. But besides those wins, he's still been consistent. He's still getting top 5s and top 10s. He's still running good, so it's not like he's just a super speedway merchant and just runs like complete meh everywhere else. He still runs good.
Yeah, like Coda. He didn't really pop off at Coda, but he just did good.
Yeah, and like New Hampshire, I mean, when I think of New Hampshire, the first guy I don't think of is Austin Hill, but he got a top 5 there. But back to John Hunter Nemechek for a second. Nemechek obviously has been killing it in Xfinity this year. I mean, that's not really a surprise to many. But I think one way or another, you're going to see John Hunter Nemechek be in the Cup Series next year, and that's either between Martin Truex Jr. possibly leaving at the end of this year, because he still is undecided on what he wants to do, and or if Legacy says Noah Gragson, you go bye and we'll bring John Hunter in. I
honestly don't see why they wouldn't. I really don't, because like back to your point, he's a contracted Chevy driver. There's gonna be
rookie season.
Yeah, that, and there's gonna be a couple free spots back in junior motorsports. I don't see why he wouldn't go back.
Because
I really don't.
That, I mean, Gragson, even for rookie standards, for the standards of a rookie, he's been miserable.
Now, a lot of people
and you know, even though the equipment difference is very obvious, you look at the guy who he's facing off as the other rookie, Ty Gibbs.
Oh, it's like the differences are like miles apart.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's like top tier equipment versus like low tier, just like.
But just even off of like driving talent, if we look at last season, Gibbs was a rookie, and granted he like several wins before that because of 2021, but Gibbs was a rookie. Gragson had been driving in Xfinity for like what, 2 years, 2 years by that point.
Yeah.
And they're in basically equal equipment, and Gibbs just blows him out the water.
Yeah.
So Gregson's a good driver.
But
I just don't really see his Cup skill yet.
Well, not yet, but I'm going to defend Noah Gragson on this for a second. I do believe that this is a very sticky situation for him because, in all fairness, this is his rookie season. Now, I didn't expect a whole lot considering that it's the 42 car and it wasn't really that great before this season, but although this season has been...
The 42 is basically the 41 for...
SHR.
Legacy.
Yeah. But, so, you know, a lot of people are like, okay, you know, is this, you know, why won't Legacy keep him? Obviously, he's a Chevy contacted driver, but, you heard a lot of Toyota guys say that they're really excited about the Legacy Motor Club move because it adds more Toyotas to the field. Did y'all hear what Ty Gibbs said when he was asked about that? He was just like, I'm not going to discuss on that. For many people who still don't realize it yet, Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson do not like each other.
Yep.
So you kind of start to, and this is a point that Eric Estep, huge shout out to him, he brought that point up. So I'm just like, that's very interesting. So is there some animosity going on behind the scenes and we just don't know about it? So is that why, Noah Gragson might be on the hot seat or not? Who knows?
Now, with this move, it's obvious that Legacy, I still hate that name. It's obvious that Richard Petty Motorsports made this move because they're going to get big backing from Joe Gibbs and Toyota and TRD.
Yeah.
Because they kind of need it. They haven't done anything since Petty won his last race.
They want to win, and I respect that.
And Petty's last win was in 1985.
84.
It was 85. Firecracker 400.
It was the 84 Cracker 400, and that was the
Whichever race.
All right.
But you get my point. That team has not been good, really long time.
Yeah.
Now they did show. Now I will say that Petty GMS did show promise at the end of the year when Eric Jones won. I think that they did get better as the year went on. But this is obviously, just a throwaway season. However, I respect Jimmy Johnson's efforts for, wanting to see this team succeed. A lot of people are like, Jimmy Johnson's going to be in the Toyota. Oh, my God, that's going to be so weird. But at the same time, this is what's going to make this program better. You want to see Legacy succeed? Well, guess what? This is probably the way.
Yeah, because Legacy's going to have more Toyota funding. I think
they're going to have...
They're gonna have that. They're gonna have that sweet,
or at least
Toyota
one really good driver. Yeah, and I think that with the whole Noah Gragson thing, Ty Gibbs definitely has some input in that because Joe Gibbs is definitely gonna want to listen to his grandson, listen to what he once has to say, and just kind of hear him out a little bit because. You obviously don't want Ty Gibbs fed up and annoyed every week when he's out there in his second season, potentially being able to win.
This is like when Dale Earnhardt almost joined Junior Johnson's team when Darrell Waltrip was still there. Are they gonna be able to like each other? That's the problem.
Yeah, are they gonna fight each other, or are they gonna suddenly become best friends?
See, now, I will say that, so we got to look at the hypotheticals real quick. Now, if Legacy decides to let him go and bring John Nemechek in, I don't know, we've been throwing out ideas so far this show that he could go back to Xfinity, but as of right now, I don't see him, I don't see another Cup team that would necessarily want him. Yeah, you could throw a colleague out there, but at the same time, Gragson, as of right now, kind of hardly has any major sponsorship behind him. But then people will be like, well, what about Black Rifle Coffee or Sunseeker Resort? Those sponsors were there before Noah Gragson got there.
Yeah, they followed him. I bet Ty Dillon had the Black Rifle Coffee sponsorship, and Sun Energy One, I have no idea where they came from. But,
Sunseeker Resort, you mean?
Sorry, what are we talking about? I literally just completely blanked out. I was not listening to anything at all.
Sponsorship funding for Gragson.
Oh.
But even with that, Gragson doesn't have sponsors, and sure, the 42 might have a bunch of sponsors on it. Those are Liam Gallagher brands.
I'm pretty sure Gragson has. Does he not have Black Rifle Coffee with him?
They were there before. They were there before Noah got there. They were there for Ty Dillon last year.
They're a team sponsorship, not a Noah Gragson sponsorship. And sure, they sponsored Gragson and Xfinity,
That's like how Bass Pro Shops isn't necessarily a driver sponsor, but it's a team sponsor for Junior Motorsports, because you saw him on Gragson's car last year, and now you see him on Josh Berry's car this year.
Yeah, you know what? I think we'll see it back with Gragson.
Yeah, and even then, Bass Pro Shops is just kind of a sponsorship for everybody. They've sponsored Austin Hill when he did his Cup starts. Austin Dillon. I'm blanking on Martin Truex Jr.
Ty Dillon in the 54.
Noah Gragson, Ty Dillon in the 96 and the 42.
No, and the 54.
Yeah. So they just kind of do everyone.
Yeah, I really hope that legacy really doesn't let go of Noah Gragson, because I think it's kind of I understand that there's been some cases where it's been Noah's fault, but at the same time it's not all Noah's fault. It's been a struggle for the whole team all around. So I would like to see him keep him, but if Toyota does unanimously make that decision saying, okay, no, you're going to step aside, we're going to bring up an actual Toyota, because keep in mind, Noah Gragson used to be a Toyota driver, and Toyota really didn't see a lot in him and just said, okay, adios, please go away, so I don't know if David Wilson over at TRD would want to bring him back, but if they decide to keep him, then that's their choice, and we'll see how it goes along with it.
For all we know, if Toyota had stuck to their guns with Gragson could be in the 20 by now. Could have been for like
That is definitely a good hypothetical. I will say that.
Because he would have definitely smoked them in Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity. Because there wasn't really anyone at the time when Gragson could have been in Xfinity that really gave anything for competition. Sure, you had like prime Justin Allgaier, but even then, he kind of fails when it comes to the big show.
Yeah, it's just, I think the talent for Noah Gragson is definitely there, but it's just going to take a while for him to develop. He's still a young guy. He's only 24, 25 years old, right around there. So, I don't think that he's, a bust per se. I think he's far from that, but it's been a struggle for him. So we'll see how silly season goes for the rest of the year. We still don't know where a lot of people are going to be at next year, but we will update you guys next week on some more silly season stuff if this week continues up with more. Now, actually, here's another silly season tidbit. Corey LaJoie and Spire Motorsports announced a new contract extension. Obviously, this is not a major surprise. This was rumored for the past few weeks. And, well, Corey LaJoie will be in the Spire number 7 for more years to come.
Honestly, that's what I kind of expected. I don't really see LaJoie moving up anytime soon, and now with this deal, that's much more prevalent.
While the 7 is locked down, the 77 is still a very interesting mystery. We don't know if Ty Dillon will probably be returning next year for Spire in that 77, so still a lot of things going on behind the scenes there, but congrats to Corey LaJoie and that extension. He seems to be really comfortable where he's at. There's been glimpses of him having good runs here and there. Obviously, he got outran by Carson Hocevar at Gateway, but we've already talked about that numerous times. So, yeah. And some more news from a tweet from Adam Stern. It reads that NASCAR is in no rush when it comes to its new media rights deal. So we already know where the Xfinity Series is going to be broadcasting races from 2025 to 2031. But when it comes to the Cup Series, the top dog, we still don't know where the media deal is going to be at. And currently right now, NASCAR is in no rush because, according to Stern, they still have a year and a half to develop plans for that said deal.
Man, 2031, don't make me think that far.
Well, that's what the CW deal is. 2025 to 2031.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, let alone in 2031. So they got this whole big deal going.
Yeah, but
next week, never mind 2031.
Yeah, but this whole media rights deal for the Cup Series has definitely truly been a roller coaster, I will say, for the past several months to even a year, because we're technically this year we are supposed to know who will broadcast races in 2025 and beyond.
Yeah.
Now, there is rumors saying that Fox and NBC would like to renew their deals, which is not really shocking at all, considering that they currently hold those rights as well. But as of recent, but we don't. There could be some new players in there. There could be ESPN. There could be, there could be other channels that are looking to broadcast races for the future.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm open. As long as they have good, broadcasting, as long as they have good cameras, as long as they don't do what Fox has done in the past, as long as they have good commentators. If everything works out well, I don't really care.
I mean, as long as you don't do what Fox does, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just don't do Fox.
I'm not saying Fox can't improve, but as of right now, it's just been...
Fox can't improve.
It's not been great, I will say.
Listen, I'm not saying Fox can't improve, but Fox can't improve.
To think, 20 years ago, NASCAR on Fox was seen as the greatest thing possible.
Because they made racing very exciting.
Yeah, like
it's
NASCAR
a hilarious
on Fox
irony.
was really good in their heyday. It's genuinely fun to watch some of those old races. And now it's not fun to watch races when Fox is broadcasting them.
Now, if Fox does get a new deal signed with them, okay, fine, but I do want to definitely see some improvements because the broadcasts this year have just been absolutely horrible. Now we get into the next topic of the show, and that is that NASCAR revealed its Hall of Fame class of 2024. And, of course, with anything NASCAR announces, there's always some controversy behind it. And one of those candidates that just got locked into the Hall of Fame is, of course, 7-time champion Jimmie Johnson. We all know his career statistics. It was clear and evident that he was eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame, as well as his crew chief, Chad Knaus.
Yeah, I'll just see
I
that.
am personally fine with that because I knew it was going to happen. I don't really like or care for Jimmie Johnson nor Chad Knaus. They're not really my kind of guys. I don't really care for them too much. But I'm happy for them, of course. It's always good to, be recognized for something you've done so good.
Yeah, if we're getting on the topic of, like, the whole drama with,
Now, the 2024 class consists of Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, Donnie Allison, and Janet Guthrie, yeah. Those, not a huge class, but also not a terrible class either. There's some very big figures in our sport.
Yeah, Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, obvious. Donnie Allison was just a great driver of his time and a part in one of the original Alabama gang. And Janet Guthrie, first female driver in NASCAR to actually make a race and actually do pretty good. She did all sorts of motorsports and racing, and she was the first woman to make the Indy 500, and many people refer to her as some people refer to her as the fastest woman on the planet. So she clocked an average lap speed of like 200 some at Indianapolis. So pretty neat.
oh god, I hate allergies, man.
Yeah, we've heard you sneeze on this episode, man. But it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Allergies are kicking my ass at the moment.
But a lot of people are scratching their heads going, well, Carter, why did you say that there was controversy about this? Well, Jimmy Johnson. So, for what people don't understand about Hall of Fame voting is that there is obviously a voting panel, and that's most sports Hall of Fames. They do it for the NFL, the NBA, NHL, etc. So, however, Jimmy Johnson actually got 93% of the vote. That means 7% did not vote Jimmy Johnson into the Hall of Fame.
4 people.
Correct.
Which is ridiculous, because, like, who cares that 4 people didn't vote? He was getting in regardless whether those 4 people voted or not.
A bunch of people are just complaining and crying and whining and raising just a bunch of crap because Jimmy did not get 100% of the vote. Knaus did not get 100% of the vote.
Like,
But neither did Richard Petty or Dale Earnhardt, and they're still in.
Did not get 100% of the vote in 2011.
Yeah, like, listen, I've been a diehard Jimmy Johnson fan since 2012. Yeah, I don't really care that he didn't get all the votes because regardless whether of, like I said, regardless of if those people vote or if they don't vote, like he's still getting in regardless.
He's
whether
he's going to get in regardless, and he's going to be well known for it.
Yeah, and whether he gets into the Hall of Fame or not, he's still going to be known as one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people were really upset about that. Me personally, I mean, he was getting in the Hall of Fame regardless if it was unanimous or not, so I don't see why a whole lot of people are completely upset. Unanimous is just a word added to the name a NASCAR Hall of Famer. It's just a word. Like, it's not really all that important. Like, again,
if you get in the Hall of Fame, you're in the Hall of Fame. That's more than you need, because Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, apparently yesterday were going around pestering and asking people who didn't vote. And Bob Pockers tweeted out that, quote, Chad Knaus wants to know so he can, quote unquote, have a talk with those people.
What the hell is Chad gonna do?
2011, and you didn't hear a peep out of Petty in 2011.
The hell is Chad Knaus gonna do? Box someone over this? Like, come on, bro.
I
Chad
don't.
Knaus gonna break out the ye old stopwatch and beat someone over the head with it.
Well, knowing Knaus, I don't think that's totally serious. But
like,
I'm gonna have a word with you. Like, okay, brother.
Petty complained about not getting 100% of the vote, despite him being called the king.
Well, he's also really old now, so
yeah. I personally think Petty was just kind of happy to get in there.
Richard Petty is happy regardless.
Yeah, Richard's just always been a happy fella.
Except when it comes to trying to get the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, or trying to get actually half decent drivers on his team for his second car.
Yeah. But no, but in all seriousness though, all jokes aside, congrats to all 4 members of that 2024 class. Whether or not they are winners or losers, they had big impacts in our sport, and they deserve to have their place inside the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
There were one of the candidates on that list I would have voted for was definitely Harry Gant, because they showed like the voting papers.
He's not in yet?
Harry Gant's not in.
Bro, I thought he was in already.
And won at 52.
Why did I think? No, I'll tell you who also isn't in, bro, and he needs his respect, bro. Ricky Rudd's not in yet.
Yeah,
I'm upset about that, bro. And people are like, what about Carl Edwards? Like, dude, Carl Edwards is one thing, but Ricky Rudd, bro.
Carl Edwards is way overrated.
Ricky Rudd did not miss a race from 1981 to 2006, and the only reason he missed races in 2007 was because he could not find a ride because PPI shut down.
I thought Ricky Rudd in 2007 was back with Robert Yates.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. It was 2005 was his last full thing, and then 2006 he couldn't find the ride because BPI shut down. 2007 he was with Robert.
Yeah.
I'm so
To
tired
not
of
miss
it.
a single start from 81 to 05.
God,
Oh my God.
I'm so tired right now. What the
In
heck?
that time frame of 81 to 05, that was where he had that crash. In between there was when he had that crash at Daytona where he had to duct tape his eyes open.
Yeah, like it's
Hey,
actually kind of
Wasn't that fucking wild flip out of turn 4?
Yeah,
yes in the Wrangler number 15.
Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He flipped as he flipped
Dude,
as
it's
he
actually
just
kind of
hit
it's
the
actually
wall-
kind
the
of
wall.
criminal. It's actually kind of criminal that Ricky Rudd's not in the Hall of Fame yet, and I think that dude's an underrated legend of our sport.
Yeah, they had Jeff Burton on that list, which was kind of interesting.
I think he should be in too. The mayor.
Yeah, he was always a good driver. I just think Harry Gant would be a really good option to have in there because Mr. September.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Gant, dude, literally the oldest Cup Series winner as of this current point. I don't see. Oh, excuse me. Obviously, the next driver in line that I could really see breaking that, but he's retiring after this year is Kevin Harvick, and he's only 48, so he's not gonna go. He's not gonna go 4 more seasons. He's done, and he wants it to be over with.
Yeah, and I don't really think we're gonna have many 52-year-olds in the Cup Series, maybe besides Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Kyle
He
Busch
plans
is
to
not
run.
retiring anytime soon. He's going
Kyle
he's
Busch-
gonna try to at least go another decade. If it's not in the Cup Series, it's gonna be in the trucks.
Kyle said a while ago that he plans to run NASCAR until he's 50. And the only reason he wants to run until then is because Brexton.
He's currently 38 as of right now. He's not the youngest, but he's not the oldest.
Yeah, it's weird to think that Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch are only separated by 7 years.
Kyle, I would say Kyle is still sort of in his prime. I think he definitely gained a lot back this year.
Yeah.
I will say that. But, of course, Kyle Busch, that dude, we all know he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. So will his brother.
Oh, for sure.
Like, both the Busch... In my opinion, and here's the perfect scenario, both of the Busch brothers should be inducted at once, at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be the coolest class of all time. The Busch brothers being inducted into the same one.
Yeah, you just gotta have it happen.
Both Cup Series champions, both won tons of races. They definitely deserve to be in there. So,
Yeah. I'm just sad that we no longer get to see them compete against each other on track weekly.
Yeah, well, I saw his last, or in person, I saw his last race. Granted, not his last race, but I saw him race for the last time.
and that was at New Hampshire.
I last saw him race at
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, because didn't you you went to the 600 that year, didn't you?
Oh yeah, and then I also saw Buescher fucking eat shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
that-
remember you sending me or at least sending in the server the videos you got of that and the picture, whatever.
Yeah,
and I
it
was
literally
oh my
happened
God.
literally right in front of me. That was cool.
Yeah,
I literally screamed when that happened. I was just like, "Oh my God, he flipping!"
I thought he was hurt. So I went, "Oh my God." And then
So sometimes like the server is like ahead of me when I'm watching a race. And all of a sudden I see a lot of people yell out, "Flip! Oh my God, he flipped!" And I'm just like, did someone get airborne? And I'm just like, oh no way, his tire just dug in and then he just started barrel rolling.
I had my phone off at that time.
What's funny too is I was walking on that spot right where he flipped earlier in the day.
Oh no.
Oh God.
My fault, Buescher.
Yeah. Well, at least Buescher is doing well now.
Yeah.
for the most part.
And I mean, I'm really excited to go to Watkins Glen for the full weekend. That should be a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, get some videos and stuff. I want to go to a cup race eventually.
It's
really
definitely
is.
fun. As
Yeah.
someone who's been to multiple cup races, it's definitely fun.
The closest I've come was the IndyCar race at Mid Ohio this year,
Yeah,
which was really fun.
I've been to Charlotte, Watkins Glen. I'm going to like I said, I'm going to Watkins Glen with my mom for the full weekend. The Daytona 500 next year, and then I'm going to my first couple F1 races next year as well for Canada and Austria.
You're going to Austria, my boy?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god.
And this man going to the Daytona 500 too, that's crazy.
Jesus, you're going to be going all around.
Yep. I am going to be in financial debt.
You think?
I hope you have a horrifying amount of fun.
Yeah.
During that.
Oh well.
Happy travels. Happy travels.
Because I will
travel to Austria.
I will have Red Bull everything.
All right, we are definitely getting sidetracked on this episode.
Yeah.
We are getting sidetracked on this episode, ladies and gentlemen. And one other topic that I wanted to talk about was a Richmond topic, but it was the testing of the new aerodynamic package, aka the new splitter package for short tracks that is possibly going to be in effect next year. And drivers are saying that it's not really making a big difference.
What NASCAR refers to as the up-down arrow.
Yeah, they shared a picture of one of the cars, specifically the 21 of Harrison Burton, and it looks like the next gen's a lowrider.
Yeah.
Like a 6'4" Chevelle. Like everybody should know what a 6'4" is.
Yeah, but like the Harrison Burton's car was just like standing.
Like it grew legs. It grew legs just like, I can walk now.
It stood.
Like,
which is horrifying.
Now I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know what this. Now I've only seen the footage of the test, and I've not really heard. Besides drivers saying it didn't really make much of a difference. Besides all that, there wasn't a whole lot of output. There was some passing. Like there was definitely some passing, but at the same time, they also removed the diffuser in one of the tests as well. Might I add?
I want to add something about that with the no diffuser. They were doing a tire test at Indy with no diffuser, which
on the oval as well.
Yeah, which makes me really fucking nervous because if a car if one of those cars blows a tire or something, like on the backstretch, we are going to the moon.
Yeah, we're flying.
I personally think they're going to do a test with and without the splitter. I mean not splitter, the diffuser, just to make sure.
But even then, you could still like if you get. I will say that the next gens are definitely harder to flip, but if you get air in a really weird, funky way underneath that diffuser, then
you just gotta be skewed at like a 70-degree angle and you'll go right over.
Yeah, I mean, if it happened to Harrison Burton, it could definitely. But then again, Harrison.
It almost happened to Briscoe.
I mean, Harrison. To be fair, Harrison Burton definitely got air pushed under him, which that would actually happen in any generation of car because that's just how, literally, aerodynamics work. But it did make it worse. But it doesn't make it any better when the underbody of the car is so smooth.
Oh, as Mike said, it's an Indy car with a body.
Exactly.
And sometimes when this car races well, I do like this Indy car with a body.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I personally think.
Go ahead. What you were saying.
I'm proud to I'm proud to be a person who went to the 600 last year since, my God, was that race so entertaining.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was entertaining
so
this year too.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, I definitely, personally, as a little bit of bias, I think last year was definitely better.
Yeah, but both years,
But
both
the
2022 and 2023 have shown to be a lot racier. So
Yeah, 2022 was just. I mean, I personally like 2022 a bit more myself because it's more of. We were still trying to figure out the new car.
Yeah.
And it was just drivers pushing everything to the limit they had. And I remember watching Daniel Suarez's onboard when Buescher flipped, and you can't tell anything's happening unless you look out the little sliver of his window, and suddenly you see Buescher sliding sideways.
Well, we would have been able to see more, but remember, it was Fox at the time, so we're not seeing much of it.
It was like the onboard from Daniel, like the in-car, the in-car. Like they had an in-car view of that.
Yeah, no, I know, and they still they still screwed that up.
yeah, just But anyways, going back to the main topic of the test, I've been saying for a while, and I've been a big advocate for it. Y'all can disagree with me all you want, but if you ask me, regardless if the answer is this or not, it would not hurt if we just had 750 horsepower.
Yeah.
At the very least, just a tiny bit, just add some horsepower, and let's just see what happens. Let's just
honestly, for the super speedways, I'd like to see the cars be non-symmetrical, because that will stop that like gridlock side by side stuff that we saw at Talladega.
Now there can be 3-wide racing sometimes, but it's not as frequent. I will admit.
Yeah.
It'll make it a bit better.
Yeah, Xfinity, especially Talladega this year, Xfinity made Cup look like an absolute joke.
I'm sorry, that Xfinity Series package, that shit's dangerous.
Incredible.
That shit's dangerous.
Incredible.
The big run, dude. You know what's funny is that they actually run less horsepower than the Cup cars on a super speedway track. Cup cars on their super speedway package is like 510,
yet
Xfinity
goes like 10 miles an hour faster.
Dude, the runs are just so bigger, bro. They're just like, no wonder we sent. No wonder why we send.
What's funny about that Xfinity race is they didn't go single file once, not once.
In the Talladega race.
It was little bits.
I remember seeing Blaine Perkins. Flip over at Talladega on the backstretch, and I'm just like, "What the hell just happened?" I went to go get water.
Yeah.
I was looking through the NASCAR chat and server, and because it was under commercial break, and someone was like, "Oh, Perkins wrecked, cautions out," and then there was like. Someone was like, "Oh, he has roof damage," and then
he flipped.
Someone types in all caps, "He flipped like 5 times. Oh my god!"
I remember seeing the replay, and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah, I was in a party with a bunch of the guys. I was in a party with a bunch of the guys that I lead race in, and we were watching a race in a collective party, and we're looking at the car. I'm like, a couple of the guys are like, why does he have roof damage?
I didn't see him. So where I was sitting at, I could see a decent amount of the backstretch. You can't see the wall, but you can see the cars going by, because the infield at Talladega is so big. You almost need binoculars. And then, I see, I'm going to get, water. I don't even remember what I was doing, but, I went to go get water or something like that. And then I see a yellow dot just go up and down, up and down. And I'm just like, that better not be what I think it is. And then all of a sudden they show there's like a big screen on the front stretch where they show Blaine Pickett's car slide into a hole, and I'm just like, yeah, he flipped all right.
And I was watching the race with my grandpa, and I was like, hey, people are saying he has roof damage. Let's check that out.
You should have seen my reaction to the Daniel Hemrick flip like hours later. So like, I saw him wreck on the big screen, like I could see turn 3 and 4 really well, but I saw him like wreck. Like, I saw him spin down, but then for a split second before the camera went out, I saw an upside down 11. I'm just like, oh, okay, yep, another flip. So I saw two flips in one day.
Hemrick kind of did that to himself.
Yeah, he's the one who threw the bad block. Sheldon Creed didn't do anything wrong.
And they come back from commercial break, and the O2 is just totaled. And I'm like, oh my god, he did flip. And then during the Daniel Hemrick crash, I was like, oh, Hemrick could have actually won something that wasn't, like more earned than anything.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Hemrick go from the top to the bottom, I was like, oh, this is going to hurt or he's going airborne like Tony Stewart.
That was a violent, like...
And suddenly, as the car's sliding back, I see a tire and a fender where it shouldn't be.
I saw the 11... But it was an upside down 11. I'm just like, that ain't supposed to be there.
Hey, why are the tires up? Hi, why is the tires where the roof should be?
Yeah, like it should not be like that.
And my grandpa told me to calm down. The crash wasn't that bad. And then the camera cuts to the widescreen and Hemrick slides down the banking on his roof.
And your grandpa took back his words, didn't he?
I just looked at him, and he just goes, "Oh."
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Plush, I kind of have like the same reaction to you.
What?
The Blaine Perkins thing. It was like mid-race at Watkins Glen. I was like, okay, it's mid-race. I can run down, get some food. I hear everyone go, "Oh," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, what happened?" So I run up, and I just see the 91 stuffed in the tires.
Yeah, that hurt to watch on TV. Because I was like, Raikkonen's doing really good. And then suddenly...
BAM!
I bought a goddamn Raikkonen hat, too, that day.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, Chastain kind of caused that.
Yeah, he did.
Another
reason why I can hate Ross.
Yeah.
Kimi Raikkonen was the first one to get Chastain.
All right.
Before it was popular.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely getting really sidetracked here, but that's definitely okay. But that's okay. So far in this episode, we are 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 9 seconds. So we are definitely coming down to the end of our show. But for our final topic, Ash, and this is our final topic that we do every week, and that is race picks. We look at the weekend ahead, and we get to see who wins. So this weekend, the Xfinity Series and Cup Series make their travel to Michigan International Speedway, a.k.a. Ford's backyard. We'll start off with the Xfinity Series race this weekend. Since Prost actually got the Truck Series race prediction right, you did pick Carson Hocevar for Richmond, by the way.
Yeah.
So since you got the pick right, you get to go first with picks.
Man, this is kind of tricky, but I personally think this is kind of a long shot. There aren't many good Fords in Xfinity. I hate to say it, Herbst and Custer, so I'm going to pick Josh Berry for Xfinity.
Yeah.
Ash, who do you have winning the Xfinity race?
I got the same pick. I was thinking either Josh Berry or John Hunter, but I'm going to put my money on Josh Berry.
I'm going to go with the guy who was actually fast here at Michigan last year, and he's kind of gained some good runs as of late, although his teammate is doing a lot better, and he actually finished third in this race last year. I'm going to go with Sammy Smith.
That's a good pick.
I can see that.
Sammy Smith was fast here at Michigan, and typically the Gibbs cars in the Xfinity Series are fast at Michigan. I mean, Ty Gibbs won there last year, so, I mean, it's a pretty good pick. Now we move on to the Cup Series race. It is the Firekeepers Casino 400. I don't know what kind of company name that is, but, I digress. So, Proste, who do you have winning the Cup Series race on Sunday?
He's won here like 4 times. Kyle Larson.
That is a very so you think the Ford dominance is going to come to an end?
Yeah. And the last time of Chevy or anyone else that was not a Ford won at Michigan was Kyle Larson in 2017, getting an amazing restart and pulling off from Eric Jones and Martin Truex.
Well, I don't think that's going to be happening.
Ash, who do you have winning the Cup race?
It's going to be, call me crazy, but it's either going to be, I have my 2 picks.
You can only pick one. Choose wisely.
I was thinking either Joey Logano, which is perfectly reasonable, or Bubba Wallace.
He did end up finishing second. 2311 Racing has had speed there.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to take the 23 car for this weekend.
So both of y'all are thinking that Ford's going to go down this weekend.
I'm just.
Oh, man. So this is going to be a tough pick for me because... You know what? I'm going to follow the trend. Even though I think Ford is starting to get on a roll right now, I'm going to say the Ford dominance ends. I want to go with the wild card here. Now I'm going to go for a 2311 car, but it's not Bubba Wallace. And he kind of screwed himself out of a win last week. But I think Tyler Reddick is going to get it done.
Yeah, I wanted to say Reddick, but...
Technically, Reddick should have 2 to 3 wins so far this year.
Yeah.
But you know, it's 23.
Technically, he could have won both Nashville and the Chicago street course.
But then skill issue on pit road.
Yeah, and tire barrier issue. So, but I think Tyler Reddick and Billy Sky are going to finally put a complete race together because we all know, can we all agree that the 45 team is just waiting to break out?
Oh, yeah.
Like we all know that we have not seen the best of Tyler Reddick yet. I mean, we can all agree on that. So I just think that I just think that Tyler Reddick and his crew chief Billy Scott are going to put a complete race together. If they can do it right, I think they could be at the end. So yeah, give me Tyler Reddick to win at Michigan. Watch Ford prove us all wrong.
If Larson wins, he was good there last year. Granted, Toyota was also good there last year.
And granted, Ford was also good there last year.
That was Kansas that I'm thinking of. I almost said Kurt Busch won, but that was Kansas.
Nah, Kurt Busch won Kansas.
They were still strong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think. Also, by the way, speaking of Tyler Reddick, he's gonna have the coolest scheme this week because his sponsor is gonna be Rocket League.
Well, I'm a little biased. But I also really love the 48 car this weekend.
Oh yeah, the Detroit Pistons.
I do have a small amount of bias, like I said, but
it's a good-looking car. I like it a lot. But you know what I'm scared of with the Rocket League thing? Epic Games owns. Epic Games.
Fortnite.
Oh God!
They're gonna add.
To buy a die for that. Just.
They're gonna add Tyler Reddick to Fortnite. I'm afraid.
Oh my God! Yes.
And then kids, when they see Tyler Reddick in public, they're gonna be like, "It's the guy from Fortnite."
No, I'm actually gonna think about this from NASCAR's perspective. This is that is an amazing idea.
This is a huge marketing.
You know what? It's an appeal to children and whatever gets younger generations in this sport. You know what? Go ahead. I honestly don't care. I'm not
Add it to Fortnite. The pickaxe is a checkered flag. Holy shit!
Oh my God!
No. Instead of a chug jug, it's just Monster Energy for Tyler Reddick. It's just Monster. It's just Monster Energy.
No, that won't work. That won't work because Monster doesn't like fun.
Oh yeah, because technically, I would love to have a Tyler Reddick shirt or hat right now because I love the black Monster schemes. But Monster says no, we don't like fun. We will not appeal our product to children, which is kind of stupid because Busch Beer literally does it.
Yeah.
Also, Winston sold Jimmy Spencer die-casts.
Mm-hmm.
Winston cigarettes.
Wait, because like Monsters.
Monster Energy, no. But Red Bull just sends that shit out like it's free candy.
So does NOS Energy. They'll do sometimes. NOS will do die casts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done one since like 2017 or 2016, but still.
This is genuinely an amazing opportunity for NASCAR's growth because we get a NASCAR add-on because a while ago, Fortnite did a thing with Ferrari and they had a Ferrari in Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
The Fortnite has also done partnerships with the NBA and NFL.
Wait, well no, hold on. Now I think about it, Fortnite just did something with Ally and Bowman. Now I think about it, so there's.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All right.
I wouldn't put that out of the question.
Well, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming down.
Car is not out of the question.
Yeah, so we may see a Fortnite car in the future, but ladies and gentlemen, that was our pick. What?
I can't wait to have to explain to my grandpa what Fortnite is.
Oh, have fun with that. That's like trying to tell a 4-year-old what Pop Rocks is.
I think explaining rocket.
No. That's trying to no. As Mike would say, it's like trying to feed Sour Patch Kids to a pilgrim.
Like if you give Sour Patch Kids to a pilgrim, they're gonna kick the bucket on the spot.
Yeah. All right, so.
Caveman Baja Blast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Checkers Records podcast. Definitely a very serious but also goofy episode as we have definitely sidetracked a lot. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Carter Leonard, along with Prostate and Ash. And we will see. Yep, and we will see you guys in next week's episode. Peace out.